Jerome Campilan, a Bachelor of Physical Education 3rd year student. So for today's video, I am going to demonstrate to you the examples of the 3 types of coordination. Let us start with fine motor skills. Fine motor skills is the coordination of small muscles in movement with the eyes, hands, and fingers. The complex levels of manual dexterity that humans exhibit can be related to the nervous system. Fine motor skills aid in the growth of intelligence and develop continuously throughout the stages of human development. Now, I am going to show you at least 5 examples of fine motor skills. The first example is dialing the phone. We can clearly see that when we dial our phone, we are using our fingers, specifically the thumb fingers. The small muscles in our fingers are now working. That's why this example belongs to the fine motor skills. The second example is buttoning and unbuttoning clothes. Just like dialing a phone, buttoning and unbuttoning clothes only uses your fingers, which emphasizes the fine motor skills. Next is the third example, opening and closing zippers. Opening and closing zippers use the thumb, point, and middle finger to hold the small handle of the zipper. Then, the fourth example is writing. Writing in a notebook or paper also emphasizes the way on how fingers and its muscles work. From the motion of the arm's fingers will directly move itself to create words using a pen or pencil. And the last example is cutting with scissors. In cutting with scissors, we need to place our thumb at the upper holder of the scissor and the point finger will be at the lower holder of the scissor. These 2 fingers will move in an opposite direction in order to cut a specific thing. Another type of coordination is the gross motor skills. Gross motor skills are the abilities usually acquired during childhood as part of a child's motor learning. By the time they reach 2 years old, almost all children are able to stand up, walk and run, walk upstairs, and etc. The first example of gross motor skill is when a child climbs upstairs. Climbing upstairs uses legs, feet, and trunks to move the body. The next example is playing jumping rope. Playing jumping rope uses both arms and legs to perform it perfectly. The arms will be holding the rope, moving in a circular motion as the legs jump as it passes the rope. The third example is kicking using balls of different sizes. Kicking uses legs and feet to move a ball. Any foot can kick, either left and right can be used as long as they are comfortable with it. The fourth example is a child crawling. By playing on their bellies, babies develop their strength in their shoulders, arms, back and trunk or torso that helps them learn to crawl. The last example is running. Running uses both legs and arms to run. Running does build muscle as long as you are constantly challenging yourself. Running primarily builds muscle in the lower body like your glutes, quads, and hamstrings. The last type of coordination is the hand-eye skills, the ability of the visual system to coordinate visual information, receive and then control or direct the hands in the accomplishment of a task. It is the ability to do activities that require the simultaneous use of our hands and eyes, like an activity that uses the information our eyes perceive or the visual spatial perception to guide our hands to carry out a movement. Most activities that you do in your day-to-day life use some degree of eye-hand coordination, which is why it is important to ensure that it is as developed as possible. A similar sequence takes place when we type on a keyboard. The type of movements are different, but we still use visual information to tell the brain how to guide the hand or if a mistake needs to be corrected. The second example is, when you drive, you are constantly using hand-eye coordination because you have to use the visual information to move your hands on the wheel, keeping the car in the middle of the lane and avoiding accidents. The third example is, sport requires the use of hand-eye coordination to coordinate what you see with your eyes with the movement of your body. Depending on the sport, either hand-eye coordination such as basketball, tennis, football, and etc., or foot-eye coordination, soccer, track, and etc., will be more dominant. Whatever the sport, you can count on the fact that the eye will be coordinating with some part of the body. So a more appropriate term for this type of coordination may simply be called motor coordination. The fourth example is putting a key in a lock that also uses hand-eye coordination. Similar examples would be when you insert a credit card in a chip reader, or when a child plays with toys with shapes that they have to fit into a certain hole. The last example is a baby grasping an object. As we observe children move and develop different things, grasping an object is an example of hand-eye coordination, which the child uses both hands and eyes in grasping some object. If we come to think, both gross motor skills and fine motor skills are needed for children to engage in creative activities such as dance and art. They are also important for health as children need to move to be active. They are needed for self-care, like being able to go to the toilet independently or getting dressed. Likewise with fine and gross motor skills. Hand-eye coordination is one of the most important skills to develop, as it will also develop the mind of the children. Once again, it's me, Jerai, saying bye-bye. Thank you for watching. God bless us all.